Hi, welcome to College Connection. My name is May Hanna, and I'm your host, and we're here to talk about things going on at UC Claremont College and in the region. I'd like to welcome the women's head basketball coach, Mike Matthews. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, May.
And Kelsey Finn, one of our basketball players at UC Claremont College, who is a local Turpin High School graduate in her second year at UC Claremont. So welcome.
Thank you.
So we're happy to have you both here. And of course, first of all, congratulations are in order. You all are the reigning national champions from last year, USCAA, and that is so exciting. It's the first time for the basketball program. And Kelsey, you were part of that program. Mike, you've been part of the program for 14 years.
Correct.
So share with the viewers and with me what that was like. Kelsey, you were lucky enough to have your first year to be part of that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't think words could actually explain how exciting it was. It's kind of awesome knowing that we're the first team to do it, that everyone's going to be trying to be like us. But it was an awesome experience, and I got to share it with an awesome group of girls.
That's fantastic. And this happened last March?
Last March, yep.
In Pennsylvania, correct? Mike, what about you? What an amazing thing for you to achieve in your career.
It was a long time coming, but we've had some very competitive teams. We've come close several times, but this time, for some reason, we just got over the hump, and it was very, very exciting.
That's fantastic. Well, I know everybody in the college, everybody in the community was just thrilled for the Lady Cougars, so it was a huge celebration. When you came back, I know you were honored by lots of folks in Columbus and, you know, in the township and in the local area. So that was really neat. So as I mentioned, you've been with UC Claremont for 14 years.
This is the 14th.
Yeah, this is your 14th year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's been a process.
Yeah.
The first 6, we were a club sport, and it was really difficult to even get 5 players. And partly because the students that we were getting really weren't student athletes. And the organization we were in didn't demand a high enough academic eligibility. And so our students weren't very good students. But since joining the USCAA, we play more closely to NCAA Division III eligibility requirements. And all of our students are all of our student athletes are very good students and working towards a career, and it's made a huge difference in our program.
That's fantastic. So for those of the viewers that are tuning in that aren't aware, a lot of folks will say they didn't realize that you could go to UC Claremont College and play sports. So women's basketball is one of the sports. We have, of course, men's basketball, women's volleyball, baseball, softball, and so those are the sports that
and next fall, soccer.
And next fall, soccer. So there's a lot of opportunities there to play sports and at a really competitive level.
Very high.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, Kelsey, you were around last year. Tell us, how does the team look this year?
We're a very young team. We have a lot of freshmen coming in that have stepped up. We lost 2 of our main players last year, so right now we're all just kind of learning our own roles. We're very young, and we're learning what each player does and what works for each of us as a team.
And what is your position on the team?
Well,
about anything.
Yeah.
She looks at her coach.
Whatever we need.
Right.
Yeah, I play guard. I also play post, so it's kind of whatever we need that game, I'm kind of stepping in that role. So.
Wow, so you're very versatile.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it, right? So, and what are your goals for the year?
I think our goals right now are just to become more consistent as a team, and of course, getting back to that national level. But just improving each game right now, taking one game at a time.
And what are your chances? Can you gauge at any point in the season, Coach Matthews, what your chances are to get another national bid?
It's tough to say. We've been in this situation before. In the first parts of every season, we play schools pretty big, pretty larger than us, scholarship schools. because it's the only time of the year that they can play us. And so we kind of take our lumps a little early as we build our team and become more consistent, and then we'll get a better feel for it as the year goes along.
Got it. And that's a good point that you bring up. At UC Claremont College, it is a non-scholarship conference that we're part of, correct?
Yeah, there are two divisions in the USCA. We're in Division II, non-scholarship.
Okay.
And our schedule is full of scholarship schools because that's all we can play. That's the only ones near us that we can play.
Okay, so who, for example, do you play?
Which teams?
Yeah, that are the scholarship schools.
We've played, we didn't get an opportunity to play them, but we went to the Rio Grande tournament earlier. We've been into Anderson, Indiana, and played a couple schools up in that region.
Okay.
We've been to Pittsburgh and played a couple schools.
Wow.
Later, as the season goes on, we'll be in Terre Haute, Indiana, playing one of our rivals in the USCA. So we travel quite a bit.
Yeah, that's impressive. How do you handle that, Kelsey? You're a student athlete, so how do you handle that?
They work with us. You know, you miss class sometimes, but the coaches are really good about making sure that we leave as late as possible, so you're missing as little as possible. And the teachers work with you. They give you your assignments ahead of time, and you can go online and do them.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's good. That helps, I'm sure, from your standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit. So, Coach Matthews, what do you look for in a college player? Because before you know it, it will be recruiting season for you, and you'll be looking for another Kelsey and that sort of thing. What do you look for in a college player?
It's different at our school because I think they fall into three criteria. They have to have their career path has to be at Claremont. And I believe not only that they have to appreciate our fine faculty. And second, I believe a lot of people try to be a little more financially responsible. And if you're thinking about lowering your student debt, there is no better way than starting out at Claremont. And thirdly, we have highly rated national athletic programs, and it allows our student athlete a chance to continue their college career in basketball.
That's great. That's fantastic. So is the national championship again in Uniontown, Pennsylvania? So is that always there? Or it's just
they bid on it.
And
it comes into, I believe, 2-year bidding processes, and I think in this case, they have it through or into 2018.
Got it. Got it. And so tell us about the teammates that you have this year. Are they mostly from here in the greater Cincinnati area?
Yeah.
What high schools do they represent?
Well, I represent Turpin, and then one of the girls represents Glen Estee, and then there's Glen Estee.
Georgetown, Wilmington.
Okay.
Milford.
Okay.
Then we have a couple girls from Kentucky and Dixie Heights and Ludlow, I believe, is the other one. And we have a girl from Dayton.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. So it's a really nice mix of women playing from all different areas. I'm sure you're all learning a lot about each other with this. So can you continue on? You were talking about before the show started, Kelsey, that you're going to continue on after this year getting your bachelor's degree. So can you continue on playing for Coach Matthews after this?
Hopefully. I'm graduating in the spring with my associates, and then I plan on coming back and going for my bachelor's, and I'm planning on playing 2 more years.
That's great.
Yeah.
So how does that eligibility work, Mike? You can keep them up to 4 years?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
If there are some of the junior, senior classes offered, either at Cincinnati East or on our campus, but if they are not, since they started at our school, our campus, wherever they go in the UC system, they can finish.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And isn't there also a stipulation if someone is at main campus, they can also, if they're interested in playing and they're maybe not interested or they can't play at the main campus, they can still play at UC Claremont even if they're not based at UC Claremont?
It's an interesting thing with the USCA, they do consider us just the University of Cincinnati, but
Okay.
we kind of impose our own little rules on that.
Okay.
That they have to take some classes at UC Claremont.
Okay.
If they can get some in there, then they might be accepted. It has to go through the administration to
Got
see if they
it.
would allow them to play. But
Okay.
typically, we haven't had any problem with people, coming out to Claremont, and definitely we would take the main campus student if that's how it worked out.
That's great. I wasn't sure. I think softball, there are some students that are maybe both main campus and UC Claremont students, and they come out just to play softball and maybe take a class or two, as you mentioned. So that's really neat. So if there's a viewer that's out there watching and they're thinking, gosh, I didn't know that this was an option for my daughter or for me, how would they get a hold of you? If they were interested in coming and seeing a game and that sort of thing.
Well, certainly, if they can get my phone number and email off of the website,
Okay.
if they just look in athletics,
Okay.
and then I can arrange put them on the pass list as my guest.
Great.
Or, if the coach wants to call and talk about players, I'd gladly talk to them about their student athletes.
That's great. Is that how you generally find out about the players like Kelsey? Do you hear about them through the coaches, or do they generally come to you?
Over the last 14 years, I've developed a pretty good relationship with the local high school coaches. And so they know that they have certain athletes that are looking into certain career paths. And then I believe when that is what they find out, then they give me a call, and that we do get a lot of them that way.
That's great. That's fantastic. I know last year you had some all-academics that were on the team at the national championship level, and you had so your team was honored in different ways, correct? So that obviously, that's a really important factor, that you're not just honored as national champions, you've also been honored for being scholar athletes. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's great. Well, Mike, I'm really happy to have you on the show, and Kelsey, I'm delighted that you were able to join us and talk a little bit about your experience at UC Claremont playing basketball. It's such an exciting thing for us to have at UC Claremont. We didn't talk about the fact that we have a really nice facility. We didn't used to have that at UC Claremont College, so folks can come out there and catch a game or two. But I know the schedule is online under athletics, and if they want to catch you, our website is right here, and they can look it up and get a hold of us, or look up the schedule and the roster and that sort of thing. So thank you again for coming on the show.
You're welcome, May.
And we wish you luck with the remainder of your season, and I have no doubt we'll be hearing about a national bid coming up again this year. So we'll be looking out for that. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thanks for tuning in. We have a sports package today. So we have the head coach for the men's basketball team and another player coming up. So please hold on and join us soon for the next segment. Hi, welcome back to College Connection. My name is May Hanna, and I'm your host. And as I mentioned before, this is a show about UC Claremont College. And today we have a package that's basketball, all basketball. We had the women's basketball coach and a player on. And so, of course, we had to bookend it with the men's basketball team. And so I'd like to welcome the men's head basketball coach, Greg Himes. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you, May. I appreciate you having us on today.
Absolutely. I am thrilled to have you both on. And Terry Sparks, a recent Marymount High School graduate and a freshman on the basketball team. Terry, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So you are relatively new to the UC Claremont College family, Greg. And would you tell us a little bit about your coaching background and let the viewers know where you've been and that sort of thing?
Right. I'd be happy to. Definitely new. Last year I was interim head coach here at Claremont College. Loved every minute of it. Really got welcomed by the staff and administration. Before that, I've got a long coaching career as I coached at a small college in our conference that used to be in our conference, Southern State Community College. Before I came to Claremont, still a USCAA team, OCAC team. Before that, I had some high school experience and some AAU experience. I coached with Bracken County was my first head coaching, or not head coaching job, excuse me, my first assistant coaching job, and that was through my high school head coach. Before that, or after that, excuse me, I coached at Mason County High School with one of my good friends that we play against every year. And then I started my own AAU program before I got into coaching at the college level.
That's great. So how does the team look to you this year, since this is your second year?
I really like what we got going on, May, with the team. It's more or less, you know, it's a bunch of new guys. They're starting to learn a new system. I'm very impressed with the way they're taking to things. I really enjoy being around the guys and working with them because, I mean, they're really a great group of young men.
That's fantastic. So Terry, what is it that made you want to come to UC Claremont and to play basketball?
Well, they really sold it well, honestly. I knew coming here that it was going to be, you know, a rebuilding process, and I wanted to be a part of that, honestly. He sold it to me very well, so.
Good. And what are you majoring in?
Right now, I'm doing exploratory studies, but next year I want to get into health science and try to become a doctor.
You. Good for you. And so did you played at Marymount?
I did.
And did you play summer ball as well?
Yeah, I did. You mean AAU?
AAU.
Yeah, I played with Club Ohio, but going into my senior year, I didn't play because I just wanted to get in the gym and just do my own thing.
Right. Well, good. Good. So, so obviously we have a representative from Marymount. What are some of the other schools that are represented on the UC Claremont basketball team that are in the local area and maybe out of the area?
All right. We have a young man from Amelia High School, Tommy Hacker. We have a young man from Lakota West, Phil Cook. Ryan Darks is from Sycamore. We have one young man from actually outside of Denver, Colorado, Ricky Garcia. He's a young man that came from a long way from us. Michael Buck is from SCPA downtown, so he's different. Kenneth McCoy is from Taft High School. So, you know, we're pretty well represented in the greater Cincinnati area.
Great.
To name a few, and then Kurt Wisp, he is through Glen Estee High School, so he is a local product also.
Okay. So when you're out there recruiting, Coach Hyams, because some of the folks that are watching the show probably don't know that UC Claremont has basketball or has, you know, 4 other sports teams. What is it that you look for in a coach, and what is it that you share with the prospective players about the team or going to the school and playing for UC Claremont?
Right. One thing, May, we're looking for is we definitely want to look for quality student athletes. I mean, it's the point of, you know, I walk in the gym and I can pretty well tell, you know, who can play college basketball and who can't. And the first 2 things I'll ask any coach are, you know, what type of character is this young man? And the second thing I ask is, what type of grades does he have? And, you know, that's one thing you want to do is we want to build a program that is definitely built on character of young men and, you know, working towards getting an education, because one of the biggest goals of mine is to watch these young men walk across the stage and get that diploma. You know, that's one of our big things, is watching them get their degree.
That's great. What are your goals for the year?
My goals for the year is, you know, it's always of, you know, we want to have a winning season. I mean, actually our biggest goal is, yes, we want to win every game. Is that possible? Possibly not, but we play a great schedule, so that's one thing we want to do is we want to have a great schedule. You know, we want to have a team goal of a 3.0 GPA. Another thing we want to do is, you know, we want to make the national tournament, you know, ultimately winning a national championship. I mean, that's always going to be a goal of ours, and that's something we strive towards every day, and we talk about, you know, most days in practice. actually, and it's kind of funny, May, you talk about that. Our team motto this year are working towards goals.
Oh,
so
good.
That's one of our things, you know, and we kind of set our goals that way.
That's great. And so the student athletes, are you part of the goal setting? Do you get together and you do that together, or does coach come in and say, these are the goals that we're going to try to achieve this year?
Well, we we all set our own goals basically, pretty much. We don't always leave it up to coach. You know, if we want to study more or get to class earlier, be the first person in the front row, things like that. So that's how we set our goals.
That's great.
Right.
That's great. So, what are your biggest challenges?
Our biggest challenges, one of our big challenges is our schedule. We played probably the best schedule in the nation in a USCAA Division II. We actually play a couple NCAA Division I teams that are very good. We played an Eastern Kentucky team earlier in the year, and you know they were in the NCAA tournament, and you saw them in March Madness, and they actually almost pulled us upset with Kansas, which is one of the major programs in the country, and we wanted to actually show them that UC Claremont basketball is on the map here.
That's
Definitely.
Great. I asked this of Coach Matthews, and I'll ask you if there's a player or a parent that's watching the program and they're interested in finding out more about UC Claremont College, what's the best way to get a hold of you personally, or should they get a hold of our athletic director? What's that look like?
Definitely, they can get in touch with me, and you can go on our website and look on our athletics page. My information's there. You can go and either email me, or you can, my personal numbers are on there, so you can call me and ask about the program and see what happens, because it is one of the things we go to former Claremont College graduates that are working in area high schools coaching, and they give you a lot of opportunity to get in touch with us, and they let us know about players. That's actually how I found out about Terry. Was one of our former players that's now coaching told me about Terry, so it really helps out. So definitely.
That's good. Now, did you plan to come to UC Claremont, or was basketball a big draw for you?
No, I always planned to play basketball in college, but I had to narrow down my pickings. There was Wilmington, Wilberforce, Mount St. Joe, and then Claremont, but he really sold it, like I said, and I wanted to stay close to home. So
that's great. That's great. Coach, you and your team have been involved with some philanthropy this year. You did something earlier in the year that you videotaped for Lauren Hill. Tell the viewers a little bit about that. I thought that was really cool that you did that. Right,
and May, I watched the story, and everybody in Cincinnati and actually nationally has seen the Lauren Hill story. It just really hits your heart very hard when you see a young lady that are the same age as my players, and her goal is to play one college game, and it's a small college game. And we wanted to honor Lauren, and we did our Layup for Lauren challenge, which we videotaped, and you can see online on YouTube. And we don't have anybody wearing the number 22 this year in her honor, and it is on our bench every game. We have a jersey for Lauren, so we play for Lauren to give her that opportunity to feel, that people are out there and they appreciate her struggle. That's one thing, I'm big on trying to pay it forward, and I think that's one of the things we can do, because we experience good health, and we just try to honor her and honor her wishes, and try to really sell that part of our program. Definitely.
And you were also mentioning there was another cause that you all are going to be getting involved in shortly with pediatric. Is it brain cancer?
I think it is brain cancer, yes. It's the Friends of Jacqueline organization had contacted me through email and asked us about adopting a young man as a team member, and it's 12-year-old Andrew Massengill. and Andrew will come out and be part of our team. And, you know, we want to really welcome him in and hope that really helps him in his fight and help him get to the point to, you know, it makes him feel a lot better about himself, you know, and be involved with the college team. You know, we're small college basketball, but, you know, when we can do things to help other people, that's one thing that we're really about, and I'm really about doing for our community as well as for, you know, UC Claremont.
That's great. And so how do the players feel about that sort of thing?
Oh, we support it 100%. You know, we always, if there's a cause that we can help in, we can support anybody, we always want to be there for that person, you know, because we're very close this year. It feels like we had a bunch of new faces and everything, but we all were kind of gelling already.
Yeah.
It feels like we know each other for like a lifetime.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Terry, what would you say to, you know, somebody who's in high school is thinking about coming to UC Claremont to play basketball? How would you encourage them to choose a school or to choose a place like UC Claremont?
Well, when they first hear about that, they probably overlook it. But, you know, UC Claremont's a great program. When we're rebuilding, as I said before, and, you know, it's a great place for financially, honestly. You know, if you don't want to be in a lot of debt, you'll be fine here, and you can play basketball. It's a huge honor to play basketball in college, so this is an ideal place to be.
That's fantastic. I know a lot of people don't realize the tuition is half of, you know, the main campus tuition, so it is very economical for our students to play ball and to be a student athlete, which is fantastic. Like I told you when you came on, the show will go by in a blink, and it has. So I appreciate you both coming on, and I wish you well this season. And Terry, good luck this year in school and on the court. So we appreciate you coming on. And we thank Anderson Community Television, our partner in this venture. And on behalf of UC Claremont College and College Connection, we thank you for watching, and tune in next time.